Philadelphia Eagles didn't just survive the 2026 NFL Draft, they controlled it. While other teams scrambled, Philly quietly manipulated the board, traded up at the perfect moment, and landed the exact player they wanted. But behind those emotional phone calls and celebration clips, something far more calculated was happening inside that draft room. But what the Eagles were secretly doing before pick 20 changed the entire direction of their draft. The Philadelphia Eagles didn't walk into the 2026 NFL Draft hopping things would fall their way. They walked in with a plan. And as the rest of the league focused on flashy names and last-minute rumors, Philly's front office was already working 3 moves ahead. Inside the Eagles' war room, tensions started building fast. Scouts were making emotional pitches. Coaches were fighting for their favorite prospects. Phones were ringing nonstop. And behind all of it was Howie Roseman quietly waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Then suddenly everything changed. The Eagles traded up. Panic hit the room. Staff members scrambled to get their target on the phone. For a few tense moments, nobody could even reach him. And just when it looked like the plan might fall apart, the call finally connected. Minutes later, My Lemon was officially heading to Philadelphia. But this draft wasn't only about one wide receiver. From risky late-round projects to aggressive trades and emotional scouting meetings, the Eagles revealed a strategy that felt completely different from the rest of the NFL. Some analysts already believe Philly may have quietly built another championship core. And when you look closer at what happened behind the scenes, it's honestly hard to disagree. But the most important decision of the entire draft may have happened long before the Eagles were even on the clock. The closer the Eagles got to pick 20, the more chaotic the draft room became. At first, everything looked calm. Philly sat back, watched the board unfold, and waited. But once key defensive targets started disappearing, including Ruben Bain Jr. going to Tampa Bay, the entire energy inside the room shifted. Suddenly, the Eagles weren't just observing the draft anymore, they were reacting to it in real time. Phones started ringing nonstop, scouts leaned over tables, trade charts came out, and then came the biggest surprise of all: the Eagles opened negotiations with Dallas, a division rival. Inside the room, the conversations became rapid fire. Could they move up without giving away too much? Would another team jump them first? And most importantly, was their guy still available? Then the deal was finally accepted. But the chaos didn't stop there. As soon as Philadelphia got on the clock, staff members rushed to contact My Lemon before the pick became official. For several stressful moments, nobody could get him on the phone. The room grew tense. Every second mattered. Then suddenly, someone shouted that they found him. And moments later, Howie Roseman delivered the words every prospect dreams of hearing. "You're an Eagle." But why were the Eagles so aggressive to land My Lemon in the first place? The moment the Eagles traded up, one thing became obvious: this wasn't a backup plan. Philadelphia wanted My Lemon badly, and the way the draft room reacted told the entire story. They weren't celebrating a solid pick. They were celebrating their guy, a player they believed perfectly matched everything this organization looks for. My Lemon wasn't just another fast receiver coming out of USC. The Eagles saw explosiveness, confidence, versatility, and a mentality that fit perfectly inside their locker room. During the draft call, Howie Roseman didn't sound like a general manager making a routine selection. He sounded personally invested. He reminded Lemon about their earlier meeting, joked with him naturally, and made it clear Philly believed he could become something special immediately. And honestly, the excitement around the pick exploded almost instantly. Fans online started calling it one of the steals of the draft. Analysts praised the aggression it took to move up and secure him before another team could strike. Some even believed the Eagles quietly landed one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the entire class. But inside Philadelphia's building, this wasn't about hype. It was about fit, culture, identity. And somehow, the Eagles were only getting started. Because their next move revealed something even bigger about the future of this offense. Just when people thought the Eagles were finished rebuilding their offense, Philadelphia made another move that quietly changed the entire direction of this draft class. In the second round, they selected Eli Stowers, and this pick told everyone exactly what kind of offense they're trying to build moving forward. Because Stowers isn't a normal tight end. He started his college career as a quarterback before making a difficult transition to tight end, and somehow ended up becoming one of the most versatile players in the country. That versatility is exactly what caught the Eagles' attention. They didn't just see a tight end who could block or catch passes. They saw a matchup nightmare, a player who could line up everywhere and create problems defenses weren't ready for. And during the draft call, you could hear the confidence immediately. Howie Roseman even reminded Stowers about the Eagles' history of drafting elite tight ends in the second round. From Zach Ertz to Dallas Goedert, Philly clearly believes they know how to develop this position better than almost anyone in football. But this pick felt different. It felt strategic, like the Eagles were quietly building an offensive system built around flexibility, speed, and unpredictability. And once fans realized what Philly was putting together, the excitement only grew. But then the Eagles made a move nobody in the draft room saw coming. Then came the moment that completely changed the energy inside the Eagles' draft room. Right in the middle of the draft chaos, breaking news suddenly hit. Philadelphia had traded for Jonathan Greenard. And instantly, the entire conversation around the Eagles shifted from building for the future to trying to win another Super Bowl right now. Because this wasn't a small move. Greenard arrived with a massive 4-year, $100 million extension, including $50 million guaranteed. That kind of commitment told everyone exactly how serious the Eagles were. While most teams were focused only on rookies, Philly was attacking both timelines at once, adding young talent while also strengthening a roster that already believed it could compete immediately. Inside the building, you could feel the momentum change. The front office celebrated the move, coaches started discussing how Greenard would fit into the defense, and suddenly the Eagles looked even more dangerous than they did an hour earlier. Some analysts even started comparing this strategy to previous championship runs where Philadelphia mixed aggressive veteran trades with strong draft classes to build complete rosters almost overnight. And that's what made this entire draft feel different. The Eagles weren't drafting scared, they were drafting like a franchise that fully expected to contend again very soon. But somehow, the most fascinating pick of their entire draft came much later, and almost nobody saw it coming. By the time the later rounds arrived, most fans assumed the Eagles were finished making headlines. They had already traded aggressively, added offensive weapons, and strengthened the defense. But then Philadelphia made one of the strangest and most fascinating picks of the entire 2026 NFL Draft. They selected Bernard through the NFL's International Player Pathway program. And almost immediately, people started asking the same question: who is this guy? Unlike most draft prospects, Bernard wasn't a household college football name. In fact, he barely fit the traditional mold at all. But inside the Eagles building, scouts and coaches sounded genuinely obsessed with his potential. Some even believed his raw physical tools were comparable to players who had gone in the first few rounds. Explosive power, violent hands, rare athletic upside. The problem was experience. Bernard was still extremely raw. But that's exactly why the Eagles loved the pick. Philadelphia clearly believed their coaching staff could develop him into something special over time. During the phone call, coaches didn't just congratulate him, they immediately started talking about work, development, and building his future. It felt less like a normal draft selection and more like the beginning of a long-term project the Eagles were excited to take on. And honestly, that mindset says everything about this organization. Because when you step back and look at the entire draft together, one bigger pattern starts becoming impossible to ignore. When you look at the Eagles' entire 2026 draft strategy, one thing becomes clear: this was never just about selecting players. It was about building an identity. From aggressive trades to emotional scouting meetings and risky upside picks, Philadelphia approached the draft like a franchise already thinking about championships. Every move felt connected. Every decision had purpose. And that's what separates organizations like the Eagles from everyone else. They don't just draft talent, they draft culture, mentality, and long-term fit. And if even a few of these moves work out the way Philly believes they will, the rest of the NFL could have a serious problem very soon.